Welcome to a journey through the sands of time, to ancient Egypt, where the mighty Nile River dictated life itself. For millennia, the annual flooding of the Nile wasn't a catastrophe to be feared, but a divine gift, celebrated in their myths and woven into the very fabric of their existence. Unlike many other ancient civilizations that told tales of a destructive, world-ending deluge, the Egyptians perceived the flood as a benevolent force, a yearly renewal. One of the most compelling Egyptian flood myths is found in the Book of the Heavenly Cow, and it's a tale of divine intervention and mankind's near destruction. In this myth, the sun god Ra, seeing humanity's disrespect and rebelliousness, decided to punish them. He unleashed his powerful eye, in the form of the fierce goddess Sekhmet, upon the world. Sekhmet, in her bloodthirsty rage, began to slaughter humanity without end. Fearing the complete annihilation of mankind, Ra and the other gods devised a clever plan. They prepared vast quantities of beer, mixed with red ochre, to make it resemble blood. This concoction was poured out onto the land, creating a great red flood. Sekhmet, mistaking the red beer for blood, drank it until she became intoxicated and fell into a deep slumber. This halted her rampage, saving the last remnants of humanity. While not a flood of water in the conventional sense, this myth serves as Egypt's unique take on a flood myth. A divine punishment averted by a flood that ultimately brought about a new beginning for humanity. Beyond this specific myth, the ancient Egyptians also intertwined the Nile's flooding with the revered goddess Isis. They believed the annual inundation was caused by the tears of Isis, shed in sorrow for her murdered husband Osiris, whose dismembered body parts were scattered along the Nile. As she wept, the river swelled, bringing forth the life-giving waters and fertile silt. This powerful connection between the gods, the river, and the very act of creation and rebirth highlights the profound significance of the Nile's yearly gift. The god Hapi, often depicted as an androgynous figure with a prominent belly and breasts, symbolized the abundance and fertility brought by the floodwaters. His image represented the nourishing qualities of the Nile, a father and mother figure combined, ensuring the land's prosperity. For thousands of years, the annual flooding of the Nile, known as the inundation, was the lifeblood of ancient Egypt. Every summer, monsoon rains in the Ethiopian highlands would swell the Blue Nile and White Nile, sending a torrent of water northward. These floodwaters carried with them incredibly rich black silt, deposited on the riverbanks as the waters receded. This nutrient-dense sediment made the land incredibly fertile, allowing the Egyptians to cultivate abundant crops like wheat, barley, and flax, sustaining their civilization for nearly 5,000 years. The entire Egyptian calendar revolved around this cycle, divided into 3 seasons: Akhet, or inundation Pere, which is growth, and Shemu, the harvest. The predictability of this flood, even though its exact levels could vary, allowed for the development of really sophisticated irrigation systems. This transformed a desert landscape into, well, a thriving agricultural powerhouse. A good flood meant prosperity, but a poor flood could lead to famine. However, the days of the dramatic, widespread annual inundation that characterized ancient Egypt are long gone. The construction of the Aswan High Dam, completed in 1970, fundamentally altered the natural flow of the Nile. This monumental project brought an end to the regular, large-scale floods that once revitalized the land. While the dam provides immense benefits, such as hydroelectric power, improved irrigation control, and protection from devastating floods, it also halted the natural deposition of nutrient-rich silt. As a result, farmers now rely more heavily on artificial fertilizers. Today, while the grand, predictable inundation no longer occurs, the Nile River still experiences fluctuations in its water levels. These aren't the widespread, basin-filling floods of antiquity, but rather smaller, localized rises in water that can still impact communities. For instance, recent reports indicate concerns about the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam and its impact on water flow, sometimes leading to unexpected rises in water levels along the Nile's banks in Egypt, even outside the traditional flood season. These modern occurrences are more like localized inundations of riverbank lands, which the Ministry of Irrigation monitors, and for which some farmers are even permitted to lease these periodically submerged areas. These smaller floods, influenced by a combination of rainfall patterns, dam management, and regional climate changes, serve as a reminder of the Nile's enduring power and the ongoing need for careful water management in a changing world. Even though the massive annual flood is a thing of the past, the Nile remains the undisputed heart of Egypt, a vital artery that continues to shape the lives of millions.